Very good morning, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to live training session on market profile. So we've been doing a live session after a very, very long time to the open audience. We thought of doing it because market is going through a very important phase of change. Probably if you know that market has been dull, boring, frustrating, right? I think probably that could be a change, a kind of an end is coming to the end markets. So kind of a exponential references, some of the exponential references, we're going to talk about that. And before starting with the session, right, just give me a quick confirmation about the audio and video quality so that we can quickly kickstart with the session. Is the audio and video quality is good? All right, great. Thanks, Ram, Bonnie, Philip, and everybody. So without any further delay, we'll quickly kickstart with the session. Let me go to the setup here. So one of the things that we'll be watching on a daily time frame is the sentiment. Sentiment is holding negative, which is fine. And the top-down analysis, the trend has been kept on going up from the monthly time frame. It was looking like an excess, but it is not an excess at all. And then weekly wise, right, the price has been frustrating the players almost for last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are in the 6th week. So 6th week price is still going sideways. Markets are totally going in a total sideways fashion. And then daily trend is turning negative, which is sentimental wise, in a very, very short term, it is not looking good. Like here, right? So it went sideways and then the sentiment was negative. Here, there was a mini downtrend was there. And then here again, there was a mini downtrend. And this time, do I think it is going to be a mini downtrend? If you ask me, I don't think so. Maybe that could be a major transition which is coming in. One of the reasons why the major transition is coming is the couple of indications what we are seeing in today's market activity. Usually the setup, yesterday's setup is kind of a stealth auction. The structure looks like a stealth auction structure over here. Kind of an emotional structure, mostly emotional buyers are the one who is getting into these kind of markets. It's a signature of an emotional buyers. Emotional buyers. So the chart, what I am showing you here is the market profile charts. So generally market profile tool is generally used to record the market emotions, what kind of traders we are competing with, whether strong traders or weaker hand traders, or possibly where the market could move and what could be the reason that it could move. And a couple of places I've been seeing this entire trend. If I was analyzing the combined analysis here, so what I can see here is like every time the price action was coming and trading near 15,800 levels, market went up with a low volumes. So it went up with low volumes on 9th and 10th June. You see that it's absolutely boring volumes. And again, the same case on the 25th of June as well. 25th of June as well, market went up again with low volumes. Even the recent structure here, even the recent structure, 6th of July also, which is 2 days back, last Tuesday, market again inched up with a lower volume. So this entire zone, low volume activity is which is happening till today. So the place where the low volume activity is happening indicates that lack of interest from the buyers. So here there was a low volume activity, and here there was a low volume activity in this zone, and here also there was a low volume activity. All these points, whatever the arrows which are pointing on a daily candle, are low volume activity. So low volume activity or not, we are calibrating from the tools like order flow kind of tools. So usually after a sustained uptrend, if every time the price is going in a sideways fashion and it's ending up with an low volume activity, again prices coming down, again going up, low volume activity. Repeatedly, this zone is having less interest in the markets. So this entire zone has low volume interest. Not much of traders are enthusiastic by the market activity, first of all. So that is which is happening at a macro level. And then at a micro level, what are the things that we are focusing on? If you see, there is a failed auction is there, failed auction and open equal to low. So there is an open equal to low is there, which is not a good sign. That is again an indication of an inventory getting long to too long. And then last Friday we had some sort of an failed auction. This failed auction, right? So failed auction usually gets cleared in T plus 5 days. That means the T plus 5 days falls on tomorrow, that is Friday. So the chances are a bit on the higher side that markets are likely to come down either today. I don't think today, probably max to max by tomorrow. So max by Friday, probably Friday, either Thursday or Friday, But since Thursday is more of an expiry day, maybe I'm just thinking that maybe if what all price is coming down, it could be max to max, it be coming down and closing this. Maybe tomorrow it could come back and close the remainder of the odds. That is what I'm just thinking at this point in time. So I'm not bearish from an intraday perspective, but I'm bearish from a positional standpoint, anticipating 15,660 levels in next 2 trading sessions, including today and tomorrow, right? And moreover, we also have an G2 low kind of references. Usually a G2 high, which is happening at the major swing high. So very close to the major swing high is what we're getting, this G2 high. Usually along with that, if the daily sentiment is also turning negative, it is also a signature that strong resistance near all-time high. So that means this level, 15,933 is going to be the resistance for the next 2 days. And it is also one signature of a top formation. So one signature of a formation of top. In a very, very short term, probably at times it could be a major top also. So we don't know how much down it can happen, but from a very, very short term perspective, what are the levels that we can focus at a given context? The levels what one can focus based upon the references. Notice that the POR high is weaker. It is weaker because the 5th July low, which is where the freak high happened. The freak high happened with the low here. Notice that the low was exactly matching with the 2nd July low. That means the odds of 15,755 is likely to be one of the important target for the series. And followed by that, we are also having another visual levels, the failed auction, which is also another interesting level at 15,660 levels. And finally, there is one more weaker level way down below, 15,460 is what another weaker level, but that level we've been carry forwarding for quite some time now. Right, is a level from the 31st May onwards. So 31st May low could be an ideal target for this series, 15,460 kind of levels. This is most likely to be a positional target. And if you ask me, is it a good place to initiate a trade location? This is one of the best place to initiate a trade location over here. Absolutely, with some sort of hedges or hedged futures, something like that, one can think of initiating a trades here. And think about that. The sentiment in the market is like dull, boring. Buyers are not enthusiastic. So if buyers are not interested, right, sellers will take control in the markets. That's the simple ideology which I've been following. And moreover, more and more crowded traders are getting into the markets here. This is what we can learn from the Nifty futures and today's activity. If you could see that intraday price action is totally one time framing down. So letter A, B, and C, and D. It's totally one time framing down. So one time framing is itself one form of a confidence. Markets are one time framing down. So what does that indicate is there is no odds of price getting into some sort of any sort of balance. So markets are not in balance yet. Maybe somewhere the market might attempt to do a balance, but as of now, the markets are not in a balancing phase. The markets are still, from an intraday standpoint, still it is in a trending phase only. So where the one time framing is coming to an end, maybe the balancing odds could be higher. And notice the C period low. The C period low is just 2 TPOs away from the 6th July low here. And followed by that, when there are emotional sellers over here, if you see the yesterday's activity, a lot of emotional buyers are coming in, and that created a stealth auction. So a lot of sellers attempted yesterday, but finally they failed to succeed in the selling in yesterday's case. So a lot of weaker hand sellers exited out of the system. That's what it means. Emotional buyers got in yesterday's case, and weaker hand sellers exited out of the system. Weaker hand sellers exited out of the system. That is what it happened in yesterday's case. And looking from the Bank Nifty perspective, the banking perspective, what we could see here is like, again, banking also having the same odds, inventory getting long to too long, and a similar price action. There was a multi-day breakout failure. So usually multi-day breakout failure is not a good sign at all. Whenever there is a multi-day breakout failure, the banking odds are like testing the day low and price going down further. Could be more possibilities when it comes to Bank Nifty. Even Bank Nifty is also not so serious buyers at the open. So opening buyers are not serious in today's case. Buyers serious in today's case. Comparatively, banks are doing better when compared to Nifty, and moreover, Nifty is involved with a lot of weakness from Reliance kind of structures. Reliance, notice that the day low is weaker. It went precisely to the 1st July low and 2nd July low, and more and more it is getting weaker. More the odds of creating some sort of a panic. More and more stops would have been formed around this level. Some sort of a stops would have been formed around this level. And moreover, there is a PPOC rejection is also happening over here. Prominent point of control rejection. So PPOC rejection. So there are also weakness coming from the IT counters as well. So IT has been showing a lot of strength, but it's getting heated and overheated kind of scenario is what it happened in the last couple of days. And it's been, we are nearing the IT results as well. Today is TCS, and tomorrow, next week is going to be Infi. So earnings season is about to start. And before to that, the market has been got into overheated kind of scenario. So IT counter is looking weaker. Heavyweights like Reliance is looking weaker. Only banks are holding on. So bank so far holding strength. But other than banking counters, most of the counters are showing a lot of weakness in the trend in a very short term, also from a medium term perspective also. So if at all there could be a change, what can happen is like Nifty forming a value area lower, that really matters in a very, very short term. So far, last couple of days, if you look into the value area has been overlapping to a lower. Today's case, right? It is like still the value area is still not confirmed yet, because still that one time framing is on in current status. So obviously, the value area formation is not confirmed yet, but more the odds that value area forming lower from here, that increases the odds of short-term trend going towards the 15,650 levels. Not only that, but also towards the 15,460 levels in this series, which is another 400 points away from the downside in current series. Now, talking about the price action, volume-wise, a lot of frustration has been experienced in this series, like totally frustrated activity, unless somebody is not taking a very fast decision. The markets would have been really not kind to the traders at all, these kind of markets. And we've been missing the fast markets. Fast market we had experienced in May 2020, one of the fastest markets we ever experienced in the history of stock markets. And followed by that, March, April, May was a bit volatile. And after that, slowly volatility came down. And again, October, November, December, January, we had seen extremely volatile months. After that, February onwards, right? February, March, April, May, June, July. It's been one of the frustrating months, which is fine. But back in those days, right, at least 150 points kind of volatility was there. But think about last couple of days, the frustration levels are getting more and more higher from the traders, because the reason is market has been fluctuating less than 100 points kind of range is what majority of the time market moves. So even in yesterday's case also, if you would have taken, it is like hardly an 100-point range, 100-point intraday range, and majority of the price action happens within this band, like kind of 40 to 50 points of price action, dull, boring volumes in most of the places, right? And yes, this is a phase. This is a phase, and this phase will change. Somewhere this phase will learn to change over here, because one thing in the market is very consistent: the change in the markets, the change in the market dynamics, change in the people's mindset. That change is what I'm just talking about here. That change could be happening the way the market has been positioned so far. So, and from an expiry day perspective, what can be anticipated? What can be anticipated is like most likely, it's not a good idea to look for a greater big trading odds. So most likely a price action more and more around this level, and maybe a slow, steady move towards the end. That kind of price action can be anticipated. Since the one-time framing also broken, notice that the one-time framing also broken, and that increases the odds of price getting into more, getting into some sort of a sideways price action over here. Maybe the price pending odds, the price doing a two-way auction process odds could be higher, followed by that start inching up on the downside. And what level could invalidate any price action moving towards 15,940 could invalidate the top setup. Until then, the top setup in Nifty holds. Inventory is getting long to too long. It is one of the dangerous scenario for holding any long trades over here. Usually, when the inventory is getting long to too long, a lot of traders, right, they'll be anticipating more and more newer highs. And there are times even people speculate on the bigger numbers going like 17,000, 18,000 in Nifty. So that kind of big numbers, people will talk about that. But in a very, very short-term trend, one have to align with the price action. Whichever side the price action goes, one have to go and try to align with that, try to identify the regime change which is happening in the markets. And looking into the liquidation part, some reasonable liquidation happened in the markets. From the volume wise, a reasonable liquidation happened in the markets over here. Like so far, some reasonable liquidation. And price is pulling back towards the VWAP levels again during the mid of the day. So is the not getting the sound? Is the audio is not good? If you could confirm, okay. So if the audio is not good for you, then probably I'll try to boost up the mic here. Just give me a second. I'll try to even change to a different mic as well. Yeah. So I changed my mic as well. So hopefully you should be able to. Okay, that's from Vijay. He's saying like audio is loud and clear. And Sukramani is saying it's all good. And Raja is saying hi. Okay, so most of the people are having good sound. All right, great, great. Thank you. So remember carefully, not all these expiry day bets should I have to go for. If you ask me, I would say like not a good idea, but maybe positionally the odds are looking good comparatively than intraday expiry day bets. So since the odds are like the odds towards failed auction is in T+2 days, so the positional odds favors. And these kind of places one should go for and sell on rise kind of scenarios. And looking from the couple of stock perspective, ICICI Bank is totally, there's no clues at all from ICICI Bank. Frankly, I don't have any clues. Last time the inventory went long to too long over here and we got some mini corrections. And similarly, when it comes to Bank Nifty also, inventory earlier went long to too long here. And we had a mini corrections over there as well. Now again, one more time, the inventory is getting long to too long. Let's see how the price action behaves. We need to check around here. It's kind of a dangerous scenario, like how last time Bank Nifty went long to too long. Similar odds is what we are having, not only in Bank Nifty, but also in ICICI Bank as well. I mean, ICICI Bank at this point in time, we don't have any clues. We don't have any clues. Rather, we do have supports. And INFI wise, INFI, there was a kind of a trend reversal is there. We had spike reversals. So spike reversals we are having, and immediate resistance zones are coming down over here. So most likely in a very, very short term, it's focused towards 1545 kind of levels. And I've been holding some couple of shots in INFI as well. The reason is some more exponential references we are seeing here. These kind of exponential references comes very rarely. So it's kind of one of the signature setups of Jim Dalton even. So what does that indicate is like probably it is waiting for some sort of an crisis. So to do this, some sort of a news-based trigger in INFI could create a downward selling pressure. Maybe I think probably to a reasonable expectation is towards 1420 kind of levels. Not necessarily today itself, but there are a lot of risk factors already priced in. So it's trading at an, you can see that the inventory already went long to too long here, and it's holding with exponential trading odds. So many places, the inventory went long to too long, not only in Nifty, not only in Bank Nifty, not only in a couple of stocks, but majority of the stocks, it is having such kind of weakness. And except the banks, as I said, except the banks, other than banks, most of the stocks are having a lot of weakness. ICICI Bank, that's one thing which I'm not able to understand what is happening around at this point in time. However, INFI is holding a couple of bearishness. I'm holding shorts in Nifty. I'm holding shorts in INFI. I'm holding shorts in Bank Nifty as well, since the inventory is also holding long to too long. And Maruti, so far the price action is keep on holding on the downside. Here also Maruti went inventory long to too long in this phases. So what is missing here is some sort of an inventory adjustment. So since the inventory has been getting long to too long, it is a kind of a scenario where more and more people are in an overbought kind of situation. They are holding longs. So those kind of longs could be dumped And morning, we had some signatures on that dump. We started at somewhere around there. It started around 9:55 to a certain extent, and followed by that again at 10:20, and again followed by selling at 10:45. So 10:45 selling, we had some trapped seller over here. And from the trapped seller, we got some little pullback. Usually a little pullback is what I anticipated. But then largely, remember the volatility in the market has came down. Since the market volatility has been coming down, not every day we are going to expect a blockbuster move. And one have to think, even if there is even if you're expecting a 200 points of price action, you should learn to deal with in 2 trading sessions rather than handling it in 1 trading sessions. From an intraday standpoint, not much of a clues yet. So far, the entire auction is like trading like an inside day. And more and more price action could be centering around. So I think any price action on the downside could be happening on the second half. Second half could be one thing one have to watch out very carefully. So Vaibhav is asking, what does that CR mean in the previous screen? CR means contract reversal. Anyways, I don't use contract reversal these days. I use more of COT levels. COT buying and COT selling I do use, but CR I don't use at all. In fact, from the next release onwards, I asked them to remove those CR. Rather, we'll be bringing a different metric in Bell TPO. So what is the thought process taken for this expiry? So particularly, I haven't taken for this expiry. I shifted my focus to the next expiry. The reason why I shifted the focus towards the next expiry is one of the reasons is the failed auction. The failed auction, usually the failed auction lows over here, it's kind of a breakout failure. It's kind of an IB breakout failure. When the IB breakout failure is happening, probably price moving away from those levels, obviously it creates a trading opportunity. And from there, usually price will fall back towards the same level. That will usually take anywhere around T+5 days. T+5 days. And we are in the T+4th day so far. That is, today is the T+4th day, and tomorrow is likely to be the T+5 day. So today is, so from the date of occurrence of the failed auction, here is the failed auction, and here is the day 1, T+1, and this is T+2, and T+3 is yesterday. This is T+4. And tomorrow is likely to be either T+5. T+5. So the odds of failed auction coming and hitting back, generally the odds will be like 60% without any filters. With some filters, it can improvise to 75 to 80% odds for that particular pattern. And this pattern is, routinely happens in a month, at least 2 to 3 times it will be a repetitive pattern. Very rarely it provides a significant odds like 200 points, 300 points in Nifty. It doesn't give such kind of opportunity every time. But this is one place where such opportunity has been provided. Not only it's a failed auction, it is also an unsecured low from the order flow as well. So volume wise, totally still frustrating volume. Volumes are running dry. That's the scenario most of the days. Price is balancing with low volume odds, and suddenly they are doing a spiky price action either on the upside or on the downside. So that is making the monitoring very difficult on every hourly basis or so. And it is creating a dull, boring price action. The moment you're feeling uninterested, they are making the move. That is how the price action has been so far in the last 2 months completely, right? I've been monitoring this market profile and order flow for more than since 2012-13 onwards on a regular basis daily. I've been monitoring. Similar price action happened back in 2017 and it's a slow, steady bull market, totally frustrating moment. And every day they do open up in the form of gap up, or they will open gap down and then they will move up. No, majority of the time they frustrate. So similar frustrations has been observed after 2017. Yes, this is the first time I've been observing this kind of dull, boring sessions. A very difficult place to travel in, especially if you are a trend follower and you are anticipating a trend and that trend is not happening in your favor. So usually it creates frustration among the traders. You try to go long, market goes short. You try to go short, market goes long. So that's the kind of scenario that we can witness. But what I'm believing here is this phase is about to come to an end. And one of the reasons could be like fundamentally the earnings season is about to start. So more people are likely to show interest on the news. So that's going to create some excitement in the markets or some sort of an interest in the markets. So buyers and sellers will be dragging the markets to some other places. But I don't think the same old, dull, boring sessions are likely to continue. And today is one of the very first earnings season going on, likely to be. I mean, the TCS is about to kickstart. So generally it should, after a long time, people, since there is not much of a news variance are happening around the markets and people got more used to all the Delta variants, Lambda variants of COVID crisis, markets are looking for some other news to show some sort of an excitement. So even in the Slack, also I had posted the similar comments. So inventory in Nifty and Bank Nifty getting long to too long. And I'm shifting my hedged futures in Bank Nifty. And also G2 high plus negative sentiment indicates a possible potential top formation in Nifty, which can be confirmed by EOD. Yes, obviously EOD, by end of the day, price is not moving towards G2 high. That confirms the top. And the odds of 15,650 levels is what in a day or two is what I'm expecting. If it is happening today itself, it's well and good, but I doubt, since it is an expiry day, not every day is going to be an excitement day. And today's expiry never started with an excitement. Today's expiry never started with an fear. So maybe we also have to have some sort of controlled thoughts. But yeah, some bearishness can happen, but not an extreme bearishness as if it is extreme bearishness, if it is happening well and good. But ideally, that is not the case on an expiry day. You know that. So Nitish is saying like at an all-time high, they are selling at visual reference. So it can also break one more reference hit again, and is it weaker? So this is today's low is not a visual reference yet. So today's low is not a visual reference at all. But there are visual reference levels over here, 15,755. And that is a very important visual reference level. Maybe if at all anything on the downside today, it could be a very interesting target. 15,755 could be one interesting target in today's case. And maybe the other one could be a potential target. If at all you are able to recognize the change, the next target could be by tomorrow. Right? So usually that is the case here. Do I see the possibilities of 15,755 happening today? Yes, chances are a bit higher. But do I see 15,655 today itself? I would say, like, though there is a slight increased odds, but it's not a good idea to speculate wilder speculations on an expiry day. So one of the things that we learn to do is control expectations. So max to max, that my downside odds will be focused towards 15,756 levels, maybe slightly a little bit down also. But maybe this I would like to speculate by tomorrow, given the failed auction over here. And we also take some supportive measures from the indicators as well. So indicators, very rarely they get aligned up. Sometimes they'll be having a mixed emotions. But this is one indicator where the sentiment is holding negative. Hourly has been holding negative for quite some time now. It's since the start of July series, it's been holding negative. And it was about to turn positive 2 days back, but it's still holding negative here. And that is something, even in the immediate term odds also 15-minute turned negative yesterday. So that in further saying, like, if at all any uptrend has to happen, right? So the sentiment could completely turn positive if the price action starts staying above 15,904 levels. Unless the price is not going to go above 15,904 levels, my speculation odds will be towards the 15,660 levels and also towards the 15,450 levels. And my short-term speculation is aligned on the downside because the other context is also aligned up. So these are the list of contexts I've been watching out for a possible top formation around these levels. Usually all these red color tags, whatever I mentioned, they are nothing but a market generated information. They talks about what is happening in the markets, who is controlling those moves, what kind of traders are involved over here, whether they are strong traders or weaker hand traders, emotional traders, or strong trend followers, long-term players. So where the long-term players are stepping in. From that angle, what I had seen most of the time is like this entire uptrend. So last couple of days where the entire uptrend happened, I had seen more and more visual reference level traders. Mostly traders is what I had seen than investors or longer time frame traders. So most likely the trend also got into a dull, boring weakness is what we had witnessed over here. Even here, short-term traders over here, this particular day, low volume uptrend, again, not so serious buyers. Yesterday, also emotional buyers. So likewise, I'm just seeing more and more crowded buyers behavior. And usually, when such kind of weaker hand buyers are coming and repeatedly participating, then the continuation of the longs becomes more and more questionable here. And so far, if you could see the volume activity, like still they are dull, boring price actions. But then some liquidation process has been started. At 3 location, as I said, liquidation process started. So the liquidation process started over here, looking into the delta. Look at the big deltas. The big deltas are coming over here and around 1245 kind of levels. I mean, not 1245, but 1045. So 3 locations, some strong liquidations happen. 3-4 places. So these are the places liquidations are coming in. Big delta liquidations. That means over here and this block, and again in this block, this block here. So looking into big delta is which is required here. Since inventory is getting long to too long, what happens over here is more and more traders might be trying to exit their positions because too many crowded longs are there. So once you're a buyer, next you are supposed to be a seller here. So more selling pressure can witness if more and more the price goes down, more the liquidation pressures could start pushing more and more traders to exit their long positions here. And market profile itself, we know that it's a tool to visualize the market inventory. how other participants are taking their trading decisions. There are many traders, they take visual trading decisions, especially short-term traders and intraday traders. So those kind of visual points, you can learn to identify that as an immediate support or potential target zones. So that those kind of things can be anticipated from a very, very short-term perspective. It helps traders to take better trading approaches in the markets. It's not a holy grail, but I would say, like, if you are following it like as a process, definitely it will give you better trading results. Not on a daily basis. Like, it is not for the traders who are looking for day-to-day returns or week-on-week returns, or even month-on-month returns also. But one want to understand, truly understand the markets, what is happening in the markets, and they want to depend upon the skill-based trading. And yes, there are places you're going to see an exponential setup odds as well. So those kind of places, definitely, you know that signature trades are not going to happen on a daily basis, but once in a while, you'll be going to get that signature trading opportunities. And those are the places you can scale up your trades significantly. And market profile kind of trades can be used for scaling, definitely. So far, the price action also, you can see that it's only low volume drops, not so serious selling yet. Banks, though looking weaker, it is not yet doing any significant move yet. Day low test odds in Bank Nifty, it holds. It's a multi-day breakout failure as well. If it's a multi-day breakout failure, usually the selling odds are there. Most likely towards this single print zones is what we can anticipate. And there's a small promo here as well. So we are starting with an our mentoring program called Option Hydra. So it's going to get started from 10th July onwards, where it is mostly for the traders who want to take advantage of option trading and using market profile, how to trade. So we are having closely 50 hours of course content on, it's a live mentoring session where the traders will be learning market profile. And along with that, the traders will also be enrolled in a our Traders Cafe session. So it's a 1 month of access they will be getting to our Traders Cafe. So to our live trading room, both market profile and order flow live trading room. So they'll be getting an ample amount of time to learn about the market structure, market profile, and order flow kind of things. So one another thing that the structure is doing is, it apart from that frustrated structure, right? So those kind of frustrated structure, there are two ways one can survive, to my knowledge. One is like taking a fast trading decisions where you're not sticking to any commitments. When you are thinking like weekly itself going in a sideways fashion, or weekly and daily, both are getting into a sideways fashion. Most of the time one have to align themselves only with intraday, pure intraday. Else, if you are taking positions, then you should be holding some sort of hedges and not disturbing the positions much. That helps over trading. Else what happens, you try to trade long and market goes short, and market trade go again, you flip to long, again it goes to short. That kind of whipsawing game is what it happens, and that frustrates the trader. People will be looking beyond the boundaries, and they'll be always anticipating price to go to 15,600, 16,500 kind of levels. Some people will be anticipating towards 15,000 levels, and that is not happening. It leads to a lot of frustrations. because entire phase, right, there is absolutely no investors dominated in the last two sessions. Totally, the last two sessions are mostly, last 2 months of sessions I'm talking about. Last 2 months of sessions are totally dominated by the short-term traders only. Only short-term traders only, they can do this kind of compressed, slow, steady, sideways price actions over here. And needless to say that there is a freak high is also there. So can we speculate? There are people, they do speculate that freak high tick happens. So better don't have that kind of speculations. If it happens, let it happen, but try to trade what is happening right now. That is one thing one have to focus. There are many cases such kind of freak ticks happened and it haven't cleared at all. It got cleared, but later some point in time it got cleared. One such place is like, I'll try to show you, I think back in over here, there was a freak, this is a freak tick. You can see that how much time they had. There's a freak tick over here. It took a long time for the markets to come down and then they cleared. Again, there was similar freak tick was there. So it's not necessarily it has to be an immediate odds. Some time back, we had a freak tick here. This is on the day of, I believe it is on the day of Karnataka results or something like that. This is Karnataka results, but Karnataka election results was there. And then it's not a fake tick, by the way, but one more fake tick happened. Maybe it could be in Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty are also quite famous for freak ticks. I'm not sure, probably this could be a freak tick. Not other places we are able to see any freak ticks over here. So if you're a short-term trader, then you should avoid trading the freak ticks in a very, very short term. And look at the volumes here. Now the volumes has been a bit increasing. So again, some more liquidations are happening. So when you are anticipating a liquidation, liquidation is also happening. So try to align with the trend. Not aware about what is happening in the markets could be totally dangerous. Looking at the big delta over here, again, one more big selling happened over here. And that's getting repeated over here. Big selling after big selling. And that is part of the play in today's case. So be aware about that. Still, the overall auction is still like an inside day only. A slow and steady price action move is what it's happening thus far. But the price drop so far is happening with volumes. That is one thing on how to go and watch this out. It's a slow, steady liquidation drops. And comparatively, Bank Nifty, they're getting very close to the day low. And that's the case in many of the majority of the breakout failures. We do trade breakout failures a lot. Breakout failures has probably win rate something like around 40 to 50% win rate, but the risk reward ratio is very high in breakout failures. So Infi also looking weaker. Probably not, if not this week, next week, it is having the degree of risk which is involved in Infi is extraordinarily high. So market profile gives the X-ray view of the markets. Yes, obviously we can say like that. It talks about more about the buyers and sellers activity. It records the buyers and sellers activity in the form of market generated information. Tiny piece of price action is what we consider. So here we give focus to two information. One is price-based structures. I mean, price distribution. You can see that every day it creates a structure. So the structure something like this. So these are price distribution structures, which is a combination of price into time, right? How many times a particular price has been distributed over here. So one will be able to learn in this case. And not only that, apart from this price distribution structure, we also give importance to the price action also, how a particular price action happens for that particular day. Every day market profile generates a structure, and that will be used for very short-term trading. From a very short-term trading purpose, one can use these kind of structures to determine what is happening in the markets. One can get a bird eye view about what traders are trying to do, what weaker hands are trying to do, where weaker hands are placing their stops. So it's a totally a different realm to the indicator-based trading. It can be combined with indicators, obviously, right? So you can use indicators as a supportive tool, but you know that indicators will not give you context. Market profile gives you more internal context about what buyers and sellers are doing at each and every price level, because markets are prone to show some sort of an visual information. Some of the visual information, like, so if you could see this case, the price structure is so visual here. This is one of the days low, 5th July low was resting exactly at the, exactly means all these TPOs, right? It is like 2-point TPO. 2-point TPO is what I had used over here. Each and every letter is 2-point TPO. So at the 2-point TPO precision, price was exactly coming and resting at these kind of levels. So these kind of, then we'll be thinking about what kind of traders are, who comes and buys exactly at the tops. Do you think investors will be coming and buying? Obviously not, because investors, they don't trade the yesterday's high and yesterday's low, right? So mostly traders are the one who will be watching such kind of levels. So traders are the one who is coming and buying on 5th July low, not the investors. And so on top of that, we'll start building the context. So what the traders are trying to do, are they are building like an immediate support, or it could be a potential target destination. So what the auction will be following the auction process over here. And market profile itself mostly relies on the auction market theory, right? So it talks about auction market theory, how the auction happens in the markets, how the buyers and sellers reacts in the markets. So thus far, it's a slow and steady price action, but the volume flow for the day is very good. So it's a good volume flow day with the liquidation. It's a slow and steady, high volume liquidation. Slow and steady, high volume liquidation. Without panic, the liquidation is happening. That is something which is very important. Usually the case here, right, when these kind of stealth auctions are happening, there'll be a panic liquidation will be in place. So maybe we have to learn to see at the end of the day whether this kind of panic liquidation has been happening or not. And this stealth auction usually gets created every 2 months once, at least you'll be seeing it. But this is the very first time I'm seeing after 6 months. I think more than 6 months is what I had witnessed the last stealth auction. And this stealth auction is always a dangerous sign in the markets, that markets are totally overheated. And different times we have to play the different conditions with stealth auctions. Sometimes we have to wait. Sometimes immediately you have to go and take a trade. So this is like immediately you have to go and get the trade here. Sometimes you have to wait for 1 or 2 days to look for a shorting opportunity. But this is one case where surrounding informations along with stealth auctions are showing more and more weakness. So that means what? A stealth auction is one form of a weaker buyer's information. So Jinto is asking, you are using future charts on MP, but mostly futures and spot has price difference in prices. So is it okay to take option position based on future charts? Yes, of course. See, futures is where the real traders, they do trades in Nifty and Bank Nifty. Index is where you don't find any real traders who's trading in Nifty index. Nobody trades Nifty index, and nobody can't trade a Nifty index also. So more liquidity happens in Nifty futures. So one have to analyze only the Nifty futures, and it's okay to take a trading decision in Nifty options. So real traders, real volume happens in Nifty futures. That's my answer here. And it's okay to take an option position based upon the futures. Yes, that's totally fine. And mostly from the futures is what? The future instrument is what? Especially high liquid instruments. Let it be cash market, let it be future markets. Wherever the high liquidity, more traders, more transactions, more volumes are happening, one can go and trust that particular structures. So you will get meaningful setups from the structures. All right, so I guess, what do you mean by stealth auction? As I said, stealth auction is more of an emotional buying. Usually more and more weaker hands. Sellers, yesterday, if you could have seen that, a lot of sellers are trying to attempt to sell at multiple locations. They try to sell at D period low. Then they try to sell at H period low, and then they try to sell at L period low. So more and more, all these are weaker hand sellers. So the sellers, they try to sell here, no elongation, and sellers again try to sell here, no elongation. Again, sellers, they try to sell here, no elongation. And finally, the sellers are giving up. So all the sellers are closing their shorts. Sellers closing shorts. So that is what we call them as a weaker hand sellers. They are weaker hand sellers, weaker hand sellers. So once the sellers give up, right, now the real auction happens. Once the weaker hands are out of the system, this specific case, right, this specific case, once weaker hand sellers are getting out of the system and emotional buyers are getting into the markets, so usually the trap is made for the buyers and sellers are exiting out of frustration, and then the real move happens. The real down move usually happens over here. That's one case we call that as a stealth auction. It is not a frequent action which can happen on a very frequent basis, but if it is happening, one should be very much cautious about such kind of structures. And stealth auction alone, it is not a trading decision, followed by the other surrounding factors like the G2 high, inventory getting long to too long, low volume upper trends, weaker references, pullback lows with the weaker highs over here. I'm just taking a combined decision over here. It is not just, I'm just speculating only on stealth auction. Stealth auction is one of the add-on points saying that yes, these markets are trading weaker. All right, so let me stop the session here. I say thank you for coming down and listening to me very patiently. And yes, so if in case we are interested, you can consider subscribing to our Option Hydra session as well. And see you next time with more interesting learnings. Thank you.